Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Great, and you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Happy to be here with you.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. I was tired at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a sauna and ice bath, and then when I met you downstairs, I felt, oh, this is good. This lady has very nice energy.
Thank you. Likewise. I like your energy too.
That's
like
it.
uplifting, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Uplifting is when we're on the right end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good.
So, Sadya.
Yeah. Shadya.
Shadya.
Yeah.
Shadya.
Like a Shadya.
Shadya.
Yeah.
Shadya. Well, welcome to Playful Growth.
Thank you so much. Super happy to be here.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you here.
Yeah.
It's great. This is why the thing I like the most, I think, is the podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I love all the hypnosis and the breathing, the sauna and the dance. I love the dancing. Okay, it's a close call between the podcast and the singing and the dancing. You know.
Incompetencia. Yeah, one next to the other.
Yeah, because like you rarely actually sit down with one person.
Yeah.
And talk for an hour.
Yeah. That's
About
okay, my eye, I think.
It's
What is it?
okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm focusing. It's gone.
No, it's gone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw that you do lots of interesting things. I mean, I do a lot of interesting things, but your area of expertise seems to spread widely. One of the things I saw that you did is tapping.
Yes, I love it so much.
I like tapping as well.
You love it? Yeah.
Yeah, because so NLP
Mm-hmm.
or PNL
Yeah.
is about it's a lot about shifting between states. So if you have sometimes we're stuck in our head or we're stuck in a certain type of state or a mindset, and getting more kinesthetic or rhythmic or singing is a great way of breaking that.
Yeah.
So I find it's really, really interesting. So
Yeah.
tell me
Mm-hmm.
anything you think is relevant to know about you.
About me or about tapping, or a little bit of both things?
I'd like to see you mix tapping with you.
I love it. So I went through lots of anxiety, a lot of feelings that I didn't know quite how to handle, and I discovered tapping one day on the internet through a man called Brad Yates, and I was like, what is this? This looks really silly. Let's just try it out. And oh my God, the change, the impact that it had in me was like nothing I ever experienced before. So I started incorporating it, like everything that I do, first in my own life, and then I started sharing it with my clients, with the people I work with my loved ones, and everybody had a positive effect with that. So I was like, what's going on with this? So I began like going deeper and deeper, and then I nowadays mix it with a bunch of different things.
That's the only way to do it, baby. Mix it with
like a bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's really powerful, and it's really, really beautiful. And I feel that tapping really like honors the multi-sides or holistic approach of who I am as a person as well, and what I'm bringing into the world. Yeah.
Why?
I feel
Well, how?
How? Perfect. Okay. So
Sorry.
how? Yeah. So I'm half Colombian, half Lebanese. Grew up super mixed with Muslim dad, like Catholic mom, like a lot of contrasts. So as I was growing up, I realized that there's never just one way to do things, right? But there's always like a sweet, soft spot where everything converges and coincides. So I'm like, oh my God, like I've been in a constant search for that point, and I'm not saying that I found it yet, because I feel that we're constantly like absorbing, learning new things. But I realized that, what if it's not like how they taught us, that you should choose one path, or you should be this way, and you should have like very clear goals and aim to do that, but just we can combine a little bit of here and a little bit of there. So I studied psychology, but also journalism, and I did like 3 different masters on different things, and I'm like started learning a bunch of different modalities, and then different languages as well. And I feel that all of the things that I learned opened a little door. I feel tapping is like a combination. I always say like it's like if modern psychology and Chinese traditional medicine had like a little baby, and then like with the meridians came, and then you can integrate how tapping into these meridians just like helps us liberate so many emotions and tensions, and even past lives memories, like things that we're not even aware of can just be released with a single tap. So Did I answer well? Like,
Yeah, no,
I
really.
see am I hypnotizing you, James, with my response?
I was thinking about it, actually how well you're answering as you were saying. I was saying, very good answer, very nicely put.
I'm a communicator, you see.
I know.
To the table.
Well, I feel like I'm losing my role. I just ask you a question. I don't have to coax you or make you feel comfortable or do anything. Could you pretend to be a little bit more uncomfortable so
yes,
I can feel like I have purpose? It's like, it's okay.
Oh my
you're
God, your purpose is not dependent on me, darling. It's not. So please shine.
I'm shining, baby. I'm shining. Tapping. So I use tapping essentially for relieving anxiety related to dependencies, usually. So for cigarettes, drugs, health, something like that. What's your tap? What's your? Do you have a favorite pattern that you like to do? Do you have different patterns for different things?
I'm addicted to the karate chop. Like if I could stay here forever. Just this. Often I just do that, and because like it's the straight entrance point to our subconscious, right? So it's just like staying there. It's super soothing. And sometimes we're out in the street and something triggers us and we don't have the time to go like through all the points, and then you can just like be tapping while you're walking.
Good.
What do you use? Like, tell me more about.
Well, I just do a very simple. My favorite. I mean, I just always start with there, and I always finish with this.
I rarely use that one.
This one I like.
Yeah.
I just go.
How do you?
Just peace. You know, and it's very between that. I start there, and then it varies, but I always start with this one. And I'll sometimes take a lot of time with it. You know, like, bro.
But it's so powerful as well. All of it is concentrated in there as well.
Really, and I love the bridge, like you said. I love the bridge between. There's a physiological logic to it. There's a psychological logic. There's many different ways you explain that thing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we have different worldviews. You know, I think you'd be more on one spectrum than I am. Let's say in terms of spiritual. But I like when these things overlap, because they're just models of interpreting the world. These are the frames and lenses that we see the world.
Yeah.
And I like it very much where people with different lenses come to the same conclusion, which is basically, this shit is amazing.
It's beautiful. It can be applied for everything, right?
Can be applied for anything, and like, so with hypnosis in particular, people can be quite skeptical about it, and so you want to show them, you have to show them subjective units of distress. We call it SUDS.
Okay.
So it's like when someone comes in for hypnosis, first you can say, what do you want? Which is also something very important. It's like, you need to know what you want if we're going to help you get there.
Yeah.
Or if we're going to reveal the path for you. And the second was like, how do you feel right now? And getting a number from them. I know it sounds kind of ridiculous to say, how do you feel right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, how distressed are you? And sometimes if they're coming to hypnosis or if they're coming to you, they're going to be people who feel quite distressed. Absolutely. Right? And they're going to give you an 8. Okay, let's take your 8 and do some tapping, boom, boom, peace. How do you feel now? And they'll be skeptical at first, but then eventually be like, I'm a 3. I just tapped my forehead and went peace, peace, peace. And I like things that are so simple, straightforward, and effective. Yeah,
it's really beautiful because, like you say, like it doesn't matter what kind of beliefs you have, what path you're on, because it's something that can be applicable to everything and anything, and it works super fast. Right.
Yeah, then this is it's the openness that's important. The openness and the willingness to experiment and then see from your own experience whether it works or not, without kind of layering too heavily with theory.
Absolutely, because sometimes you don't even have to verbalize anything. I've seen that you can just be tapped. This is my other favorite. It's always decorated, as you can see. So just this point and breathing and just staying there. You feel like the calmness wash over you without even having to say a single word. So it's really magical how that works, and how I feel that should be taught to little kids, and everybody should be using it, right?
Someone had told me when I was younger, take a deep breath, you'll relax out. I'm like, thanks, bro. So 23, and I was like breathing like before I discovered yoga.
Would have been a very different.
Well, I think it's very different. But then, like you say, who knows what other things they would have gone wrong with.
And things are like they're meant to be and like they were, right? But now I feel that also, like, just speaking about these things, we're giving people the possibility to know that these things exist. And maybe from hearing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of the other thing, something will click. And that something could be like the saving board that they were needing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tools, you know. And this is the thing: is like everyone's very different. Well, I mean, we're all very similar in many ways, but people react differently to different things. They have different backgrounds, different mindsets, and so maybe tapping. I mean, I think tapping is one of those underutilized things because it seems to work for everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, giving people a kind of these things are things I've tried. You might try it. One of them is probably going to work for you.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely.
But you just have to go through them. Same with different philosophies, and you know, whether you're into Ayurveda or PNL or NLP, experiment with them and see what you feel comfortable with is great.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what I discovered that I found that was super fascinating? I have the great fortune of speaking both English and Spanish, so I feel that sometimes that gives you double the tools, right? Because some things don't exist in one language or the other. And when I started like learning about tapping, I saw that it was very little known amongst the Spanish speakers. People didn't know what it was a decade ago. And I was like, oh my God, how are they not aware that this magical thing exists? So
that's
just,
interesting.
yeah, it was fascinating for me. So I started sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. And the impact has been huge. Nowadays, everybody is doing tapping and knows about tapping. It's something that's really big. And I wonder, with excitement as well, like how many things are there still to be discovered that maybe people who speak a certain language are really familiar with them, but us as English speakers or Spanish speakers can't even imagine that they're around. So, yeah.
What's your favorite word in English? I like to bounce around topics.
Yeah, I love like shifting topics. I want like the first that popped out was love. I know it's so cheesy and so cliche, but
instead of like amor.
No, it's like so hard. Like love, it feels like really heart opening for me. I really love it.
Actually, you know, I just as a side point, I don't wear jewelry.
You don't?
No,
yeah, but
I
you're
don't.
wearing some today.
But today I've been given two
I love that.
gifts recently of jewelry, and I feel I'm in this new phase.
Can I see them close? I love jewelry. It's beautiful. What do they represent? What are they?
So this is actually Jose who just met. He's just moved. Another Colombian.
Beautiful.
Viva Colombia.
Colombia! Viva Colombia, bebés!
These are 3 different types of gold.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, I have no idea. It's a friend gave it to me and she said, wear this.
Cool.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
And see what happens. Yeah. This new version of James who wears jewelry.
Yeah.
What is he bringing to?
He's gonna misplace them very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also had a necklace.
Cadena,
But that's gone.
Yeah, and you don't know where it is, no?
I think it might be in France.
Yeah.
I'm
Leaving
sure
little
some-
pieces everywhere.
Yeah, well,
no?
someone's gonna find it. I think
For sure.
It's like a shark tooth or something like that.
What's your favorite word?
What's my favorite word in English?
In English, let's say.
Discombobulated.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Discombobulated, it means like kind of just pulled apart, not exactly put together, and it's like a real automatic payek.
I don't think I can even say it. Say it
Discombobulated.
again. Discombobulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Discombobulated.
Discombobulated, yeah.
Sounds fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Arzigogolato in Italian,
Okay.
which means hard to define.
Okay. What is it in Italian?
Arzigogolato, I think it is.
Arzigogolato.
It's like it's vague and unclear. I like all those kind of words. Seems
cool.
like I'm intrigued in the vague, bouncy, pulled apart sort of.
I love that.
Sort of word.
Yeah. That can be perceived as chaos, but in reality, it's like a beautiful dance amongst the hearts, right?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, how can you not be discombobulated a bit in this world we live in?
Yeah,
you know, it's
absolutely.
it's an intense place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get less intense with time.
No. It's
You know, the
getting
more you learn, the more intense.
That's why we need the tools, kids. We need the tools because it's just getting.
You need the calming
weirder.
tools. Yeah. And also, I think, you know, as simple as it seems now, so I go to yoga on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I go to Ashtanga with Suzelle. Love you, Suzelle.
Okay.
And even like just having an hour and a half without your phone, if you did nothing, if you just went into the room and just sat there, I'd still come out feeling better.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
So simple now to
Yeah.
actually just finding ways of getting away from your phone, getting from
Absolutely.
technology.
Yeah. It's not always super comfortable for people who are glued all the time, but it's super necessary, especially because we think, I love my phone. I love the things that it gives me access to. but it's constant stimuli. It's like a overloading all of our senses constantly. And the things that we're conscious of, okay, but the things that we are unconscious, that
Which
we're
is almost everything. I know.
that we're absorbing through there, it's like it's really needed to just take little breaks.
We were designing this new program, or this I think came up with like frost, fire, and focus.
Okay.
Right? Which is the name of this program we're coming, which is basically what we're going to do shortly.
Okay.
It's the breathing,
Yeah.
the sauna,
Okay.
and the ice bath.
Okay.
You know, and we were talking about how that helps you. You know, which has a lot of benefits. It has mainly benefits.
Tell me some.
Well, some of the benefits are basically your endorphin levels, right? So you've done the ice baths, right? You get an ice bath and you just feel great. Your mood is improved, right? It regulates your autonomic nervous system, right? So your hormones, your nervous system, faster recovery, all these kind of things. But it's very much focused. What I realized why people are loving the Wim Hof thing is our nervous systems are jacked to fuck, you know? And anything that resets our nervous systems. The deep rhythmic breathing, diaphragmic breathing, and the parasympathetic system, and the ice, and all these things. It's not a coincidence that Wim Hof and these methods are becoming these seemingly extreme theories, because things have gotten so extreme that we need extreme interventions with our nervous systems.
Yeah, and it's really magical because then I feel that once people experience them, they understand the why, and even if they don't understand why, the benefits are felt. So it's really good. I don't know a lot of things on what the cold does for you or whatever, but I just know that every time I get into the ice, I feel like one with everything, like so connected. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's something that I enjoy a lot, that not a lot of things give me. And it's not that I'm going into the ice every single day. I cannot even take cold showers. Like, I really enjoy my warm showers, but just like taking the time and making the conscious decision of just like getting in for a couple of minutes, that gives me like a sense of immense peace. Yeah.
And also knowing, I think it's similar to the tapping, is that knowing that there are things that you can do to get out of whatever it is you're in. You know, whether it's a sense of stress or anxiety, which we come across a lot of. Like I had the earlier today, I had this build up of like, and then I said, look, just go upstairs. Get it. I can still feel the glow. Get in the ice bath.
Beautiful.
Get in the sauna a little bit. It's going to take me 40-minute. I do these mini ones for myself.
Mini ones. I love that. It's so
just
good.
a 2-minute. I'm going sauna. And when I'm in this, I'm thinking, look, James, it's not that bad. To be honest, everything's going to be okay.
Everything is figure outable, right?
Figure out.
Right? Yeah. Do you do it every single day though?
Almost, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm quite, I'd say I have a very jacked nervous system by nature. What was that?
That's a confirmation. When there's a big sound, it's a confirmation that it's true.
It's true. And so a lot of who I've become and things I've done have been kind of same as yourself, I'd imagine, you know, like because you're so wired, you have to find out ways of dealing with it. Absolutely. And so breathing and ice baths and saunas. And so I try and as much as possible have like a regular sleep pattern, right? I think sometimes we're trying to sort out things in our head when actually it's just basic shit you need to get done. You know, are you sleeping properly, eating properly? There's 4 questions I like. Are you sleeping properly? Are you eating properly? Are you exercising to some degree? If you check those 3 things and you're recovering them, the last one I check is, are you allowing somebody to cross boundaries that you prefer that they didn't?
Wow, that one's powerful.
Yeah, and invariably you are. We always are all the time, you know, because we're negotiating what are boundaries and we're not even sure.
Absolutely.
But I check those things first, and then once I have those things checked, then I kind of go, okay, maybe I do have something to work out on.
Yeah.
So I like to really have, and with the beauty of having the sauna is, you know, at 10 p.m., I want to go to bed at 11 p.m., right? And I want to sleep properly. Well, I have a fucking sauna on my terrace, and I just go to the sauna, I do 2 15-minute sessions, and I go to bed, and I wake up feeling great. So a lot of this has been just as a way of dealing with my own madness, you know?
Yeah. Which I feel is how everything should be. Like, it goes through our own experience first, and then that's the only way in which we can share it with others. Because if not, it's something that somebody said that worked. But if you haven't experienced it firsthand, if you haven't seen the results, then it's just like, in Spanish we say de los dientes para afuera, no? Like from the teeth out. Like it's something that you're just saying for saying, but it's not something that you embody. And I feel that's the difference.
Well, and this embodiment as well, which is, it's an interesting area, I'm going to say, for guides and coaches and these things, that you can work with. A lot of people who aren't embodying it for a variety of reasons. And I guess that's what embodiment is like, you whenever I used to these podcasts, and I had lots of different questions to ask people, but mainly it's like, everybody who I interview has had a dark time in their lives, or I wouldn't be interviewing them. Absolutely. Because they wouldn't be, I'm going to say, that interesting. But not, for a person to become interesting.
It's a richness of the stories.
A richness of a boom, a reevaluation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a kind of reevaluate your values, and then, okay. It's not like you weren't born like radiantly smiling and giving great hugs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we were born that way, and then we got conditioned, and then the idea is to go back to when we were these little beautiful
I'll take it. Let me tell you, that's a very, very good point. You were born like born like that. Then something I'm always a little bit reticent about people, when you externalize what's happened to you as the society did this to you and the world did this to you, and it's true, when you're a baby, and we are conditioned these kind of things. But I'm always wary of not getting too much into blaming the world for who we are.
Absolutely.
But you're right. We were born smiling and looking for love, and at a certain point that was somehow wiped off of us, and then you hit a dark point. You did, fuck this shit. I need to do something about it, and you set off on a new path.
Yeah, absolutely. How I see it is like, we were loved. Like, we came into this world innocent, and then so many things were put on top. It's like an onion, right? So it's peeling all of those layers to go back. Some of these layers have to do with our family loyalties. Some of these layers have to do with things that happened while our moms were pregnant of us, so many things. And then I feel that it's not looking for people to blame or situations to blame, but just really taking radical responsibility for our own processes and be like, yeah, shit happens. Am I allowed to say shit here?
Fuck yeah. What's the fucking point if you can't, what I mean?
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do about it?
Very nice. And this, I think, one of the, and this is something that's really important for me as well, in general, because it's true, shit did happen to you, or you can consider that, but it's like, there's no point in looking to blame. Yes, to understand the mechanisms and why you are. It's important, yes, but not to get fixated on it, because it's just a cyclical
It's a story. It's a story.
Yeah.
So it's like we are often, like, the event happens once, but we constantly re-traumatize ourselves over and over and over and over by remembering it, by repeating it. Yeah, by attaching meaning to that story, by reproducing more versions of that same story, right? So
very nicely put.
Yeah, thank you.
Reproducing more versions. You think that was good? Yeah, it's true. It's true though, and like, I remember this, like, if you had an issue with a partner, this is where it really comes out, where all your weaknesses are fucking right
the
there.
Little devils come
the
out.
Little devil
Like, remember me?
You're not actually secure. Look at this,
Look at your anxiety.
Yeah, look at
you're avoidant.
You're running some stuff through your head there. And when you just become aware that you've made like 7 different stories, all of which demonizing the other person as a horrible person potentially in your head, and you've suffered 7 times.
Absolutely.
Possibly for nothing. Oh no, possibly you really should be worrying, and you're unconscious saying, run. You go, no, she's the one.
But that's why we have to be like really in touch with ourselves and with our patterns and things, because we know that in relationship is where we most heal and learn so many things, because you can be really comfortable in your self journey when you're by yourself and doing all your things, but at the moment that another like person that has gone through a lot of different, to not just say difficult situations, but different, it's like an atomic bomb, right? Like, what do we do with this? And then a lot of things come through, and I find it really fascinating, because I feel that a lot of people, maybe even myself included at sometimes, have become like, I don't know if like fear of commitment, or not wanting to open up, or not really wanting to go deep into like an intimate, loving, long-term relationship, because it's scary. It's really scary as well to have someone see you completely open, right?
But I think that tendency is definitely becoming stronger, more obvious.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons. But I notice
Yeah.
like people are not, everything's moving, like for a world that moves so fast,
Yeah.
you hear the phrase "it's moving too fast" quite a lot as well, which my own personal experience, you know, I think it's very difficult at the moment, the dating world, the relationship building, all that stuff.
Yeah. But I think it's because, and it's interesting because I like to be really like opening these things and just sharing. I was just today like asking my, like, are you ready for love? And I'm like, because I say I am, like, I'm ready for a big love, and I'm like, yes, I'm ready for love because love is my nature. But then it's like, are you ready to have a committed, monogamous relationship, which is what I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yes, but you know, there's I find it interesting, and also because like I'm a huge like I want to go deep and see what's like what is that bot, you know, what's like stopping you, what's like, and I see it very often, for example, on the dating apps or with my friends or with people. We are from we discovered today that we are two Libras from the same year, so our generation is a weird generation because we had like a mix of different experiences, right? We even like basic things. We had like the internet and not the internet, phones and not phones, like all of the in-betweens. So I see it a lot where people are like, no, I'm open, I'm just looking for something casual. I'm like there's such a big fear of intimacy that it's sad, that I find it like, wow.
Yeah, I find this is the thing.
It's sad.
But it's strange, and the fear of intimacy. I'm not saying I don't have fear of intimacy.
Yeah.
But actually, I think I really want intimacy at this
Yeah.
point. I'm like, come on. I want to show you how pathetic I am. At least you will get to the point where I show you how pathetic I am, and then you can leave me.
Hopefully not, because it's not being pathetic, but it's just being like vulnerability is such a beautiful thing.
It is. But there's also the you know, pseudo vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, where we use vulnerability as a weapon. I mean, use vulnerability as a weapon as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that this intimacy thing is something I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. It has many layers, and I feel it can be really scary because obviously, like, I feel that we are at a point where we've been through shit. We've been through a lot. Like, things have not worked out, and often we associate so many of these experiences like with failure or not choosing well, or that even takes us to a place where like maybe we distrust our own selves because like, am I capable of really choosing? Am I capable of really knowing what it is that I want? I don't know, guys. I'm just sharing my reflections that I've been doing like recently because I said, I really want to take like self-responsibility of my own journey, because for me relationships are everything, and not only romantic ones, but I'm a nurturer, I'm a connector. I love having relationships, and so many of the relationships that I feel take place stay on the surface level. Of course, there are spaces where there's like so much depth, and we're looking for each other, right? So people who are really ready for more intimacy, or that want to get really close, or like daring to be vulnerable, like we're finding each other as well, yeah? But I don't know how we took all of this conversation to this place. Yeah?
Well, we're 38-year-old Libras, you know, looking for love.
These are two Libras having a talk from the heart.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll revert it back.
Yeah.
Imagine I am. How do you call people who come to you for? Do you call them your clients? Do you call them
my clients right now? Yeah, because
clients?
being a psychologist, like, are patients, but then it's like patients doesn't really sit well, but clients also feel
It's a good question.
Please raise your hands. Who feels weird calling the people, like, I don't know how to call it, but I say clients because I do have a business, and people who come and access one of my services, they're my clients. So clients, let's say.
So a client comes to you. I mean, it might be saying, going, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. Help me.
Okay. So
Well, where'd you go?
I'm really intuitive. So I'm a channel, and I get information that I cannot explain with the rational mind.
Yeah.
So I would be like, okay, what happened with your grandfather?
Oh, yeah?
Or what's a connection with your mother in this sense.
Yeah.
Or I would even just ask them to just feel it in their body. Where is it located? Okay? And what happens when you say out loud, nothing works out for me?
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
So very, 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 a lot of
Beautiful.
similarities between the way you do things and the way I do things.
Yeah, I love
Very
that.
similar. Yeah. So how do you know what you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I feel this way. Where do you feel it?
Exactly.
And then when you say
what
that,
color would it have?
what color would it have?
Magnify it.
Magnify it, spin it
Yeah.
around. And when you say that, how do you feel? And how do you know that to be true?
So similar. Yeah.
We love Colombia as well.
Colombia.
Great.
Okay.
And you were talking about ancestral traits.
Yes,
So you have this
ancestral
ancestral
healing.
thing. Because now there's a lot of more evidence about like scientific epigenetics,
1000%, yeah.
intergenerational trauma. I'm Irish. We're all about the intergenerational trauma.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the ancestral
I-
thing, because I'm
I-
becoming much more interested in it now.
It's fascinating. Everybody should go deep into that because it's really beautiful and really profound. Same way in which we have our dad's hair and our mom's eyes, there are things that are stuck or that have happened in our family trees that we're not even aware of. It doesn't matter if you knew them. It doesn't matter if you have information about them. It doesn't even matter what kind of relationship you have with them, because those things you're carrying with them over and over. By now, I've been a part of thousands of people's processes, and I've seen it every single time. There's some sort of ancestral loyalty. For example, oh my God, I don't know if I want to have kids or not, no matter how much I try. We're trying for a long time and I cannot get pregnant. What's happening? Then we go and see, and then a great grandmother died while giving birth to the baby, for example. Money comes and goes. I never have enough. I don't understand what's happening. I really change jobs or create my own thing, and then money is always missing. And then when we go deep, we realize that however many generations back, an uncle was killed because he was a millionaire, right? So the message that goes generation after generation is it's not safe. Danger is present. And then, of course, we want to respect and honor our ancestors and be loyal to them and be okay, message taken. It's not safe to have kids. It's not safe to be a millionaire. It's okay. And then subconsciously, which you are the king of the subconscious.
Maybe that should be Playfulgrowth.
Yeah.
King of the subconscious.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You can take notes, baby. You can take
I am
notes.
This is recorded. What I'm talking about.
You see? So, wow. Then you see it. And it starts surfacing, and then that's when things can be changed, right? It's getting hot in here. I'm sweating, but I'm so passionate about this.
So then, let's say you track back some ancestor, and you identified somewhere along the line, one of their issues was manifested in the form of some grandparent, right?
Yeah.
What are the different ways you might go about treating that or dealing with that?
Okay, so one of the things that I
conceptualizing
love, my favorite therapeutic approach is family constellations. Everybody should do family constellations. It's so important. Often people feel I hate my family, I don't speak with them. It's let me tell you something. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't thanks to your mom and your dad and all of those ancestors that were here before you. So it's not that you have to call them and be besties with them, but just internally honoring them, thanking them for the life they've given you. So family constellations. Have you ever been to a family constellation?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
There's a gentleman who was at one of the events recently.
Yeah.
My one issue, and I know this is because I haven't been,
Yeah.
was that feeling of people blaming. I
Okay.
feel people can get caught in a circle of finding that my daddy or my mother, and they can get in this cycle of
Yeah.
looking for people to blame. This is the one apprehension I have about
But again,
it.
it's not blaming, it's understanding. It's opening and throwing light into that. So through family constellation, you can see, wow, my dad lost his father in a terrible accident when he was 2 years old. He didn't get what he needed. Obviously, he couldn't give it to me. I see it now. Dad, I see your pain. I see that I've been carrying with it for so long, and now I'm ready to let it go. Please bless me so that I have a great life in your name. That's not blaming.
Well, maybe I'm a little bit emotional there.
Yeah, but it's like that. It's beautiful. Like for me, it's such a gift to be able to witness these things happening. It's just giving understanding that we are all doing it the very best that we can, right? That there's no one to blame. No one wants to fuck you up and
yeah.
the world is not against you, right? Like it's not. Like it's
I'm
not.
so glad you
okay?
say
It's
that.
not.
It's
Like,
not.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
The universe is always in our favor. It's not coming like to fuck your life up. No. So then just like opening this, and you know what's really magical, James, that it's something that's beyond comprehension, rational comprehension, because as functional human beings in this capitalized world, like we need to understand everything with our minds. And these things that happen with hypnosis or with family constellation, or you cannot understand rationally because te atraviesa, like it just like
pierces you.
It's so deep. It's so deep. And it's really magical because, for example, in the workshops that I give a family constellation, it's just like, it makes my heart like expand so much because you just see how this person is honoring their mom or their dad or their grandparent, and then all of the other people who are present don't know these people who are in here. They're just observing, and they're all crying or feeling or connecting with their own ancestors, right? Like, it's something that reminds us that we are not alone, that we're all the same. We all laugh and cry in the same fucking language, so it doesn't matter, right? So it's like a point of connection. And I feel that's liberating, that's empowering, that's really, really beautiful. Yeah.
I'm thinking about this
Yeah.
because it's something I was thinking
You have
about.
to come to one of my workshops for sure.
I will.
Yeah.
But you can do a workshop here.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
You know, one of the things I really want to
We'll
do
it,
here,
yeah.
which is one of the reasons, I thought is like to have collaborations where like this, you have the event here,
Yeah.
and then we can do sauna and ice bath and combine
I
it,
love
whatever.
it.
And then
Yeah.
I'll be around experts running the workshops,
Yeah.
and I can run the sauna and ice bath, and that means that you have the physiology part, and you
Beautiful.
also have these kind of metaphors for
Yeah.
things, you know, because the ice bath is a great metaphor for all sorts of things, you know, you can move it in. And so I love the idea of
Beautiful.
having this intimate space, which
Yeah.
has the equipment to take care of you physiologically,
Oh my God, I love it.
and then we just have a nice...
It's happening.
I
We're
love
doing it.
I mean, it'd be great if my first Constellations is at Playfulgrowth. I mean,
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be happy to facilitate it.
Okay.
Like,
I
yeah.
love it. I think it's really important the what you mentioned about finding those commonalities in the human experience, you know, because like experientially feeling that, and that's one of the reasons why I like doing like Wim Hof breathing sessions. You know, yesterday we had a session here, and there was 4 people lying on the ground doing these intense breathing
Yeah.
experiences, you know, and then I felt watching them go through that, I really felt connected to them because like, go dude, make yourself better, you know, you could feel that being all together and doing that, this really intense physical experience. I felt very human, you know,
Yeah.
I could feel how much they needed this to just
It's beautiful.
to get through. I'm not explaining it very well. It's just
Yeah.
this moment yesterday.
Nobody
it's
can
like,
feel it. Like,
yeah.
it's
It was
beautiful.
like, you know the way you're fucking around with your phone so much, you're sitting marketing, you're doing this stuff, and then and I imagine you have this a lot, when you actually see people liberating themselves of a little sliver, whatever their burden is, you know?
It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's like I sometimes I think enlightenment is a kind of confusing phrase, right? Because to enlighten something means to make it lighter. I like to think of it like de-heavying people.
De-heavying people, right?
I'm not enlightened, I'm just slightly less heavy than I was before.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah. Just like, again, the onion, the releasing a layer.
Just to peel off, to peel off one little layer.
Yeah, and sometimes that's more than enough.
So you were at an interesting event called Questiona?
Questiona, yeah, the Questiona experience.
Tell me about that.
That was so fun. That's beautiful. Questiona is a wonderful community that Borja Vilaseca created. And I had the gift of offering a workshop there. And my workshop was connecting with our ancestors. Yeah. And
Can you talk through how does a workshop like that?
My God,
with
it was
80
fucking
people or
epic.
something?
It was like 80 people. It was really beautiful. It was open in nature, like people from, like, different parts came, and there were different facilitators doing things like nature, like attend nature. And then it's just there. So I first guided them into a connection with their ancestors and to feel them. And then I did an exercise that I really loved, and was like all of these 80 people. I made them like go like in a little train, one behind the other, just holding their hands like this. And I asked them to just feel how the person behind them was one of their ancestors or their ancestors, sharing their love and their support. And I asked them to whisper things into each other's ears of, you're enough, you're loved, I'm here for you, like you've got this.
True.
Super powerful. And then I would be like, 1, 2, 3, take a step. 1, 2, 3, take a step forward. So how is it walking forward, knowing that you're safe? And they were safe because they were all in this circle. They were not going to fall, so they could keep on walking forward, just feeling this immense power that was coming behind them. So that was really beautiful. I made them do a bunch of like eye gazing like exercises where they chose a partner and then made them connect with how this person is not the stranger that they just met, but it's someone from their family system. And I asked them to tell them certain things. So it was just like really beautiful. And I also did some family constellations and some other like movements of the soul. I asked like, who has an issue? And people raise their hand. Yeah, it's how I do it.
Like 80 hands ago, but this one guy got nothing.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
Yeah,
I'm perfect.
Not everybody raised it. People are scared, like this kind of things. Like it's normal. But then some raise their hand, and then I just feel, and I'm like, you come. And then I ask what's going on, and then choose someone to represent your mom and someone to represent your dad, and it's just really magical, really magical. So I love being part of things like that because it's tiring doing things by ourselves. Like it's only me doing everything. No, it's like beautiful if we can collaborate and support each other and accompany each other and love each other and be there for each other. So I feel that's what really makes a difference. So yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and thank you, universe. More of these, please, and thank you. You know, I'm looking up, but the universe is here and everywhere.
I know,
right?
but you know, the sky is
so beautiful,
also,
right?
one of the things here is that we put over these things here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's nice just to look up in the evening times.
It's so beautiful.
And you see all the birds flying around.
It's super beautiful. You can see the open sky in here, so it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Playfulgrowth. What was the moment when you presumably you were leading a life a certain way, and then there was a moment where you decided to lead a different life?
It has happened so many times.
I'm on the way here.
Yes. For those who know of astrology, I'm Sun conjunct to Pluto, so I came here to be transformed over and over and over and over and over again. I left my hometown when I was 17 years old. I've been like outside of my home city more than I've been in my home city. I went to study university and then went through a bunch of ideas and experiences. But I remember then I moved to like Germany and Switzerland. Like I remember one particular like really dark period of my life was when I decided to move to Geneva. It was just like, you know, like, do you imagine, do you know these moments of your life when you feel like there's a cloud raining on you the whole time? Geneva was that for me. The day that I arrived, my grandfather passed away. I knew no one. I had like a weird relational dynamic with a guy who didn't live there. It was just like a lot of weird things that happened there. Like I moved and then they started remodeling my building. So I literally had the blinds down for the home like time I was there because like the workers were literally fixing in front of like, it was crazy. So I look at that time and it was like a very dark time in my life, like very painful.
You know, I think a lot, and no offense to Swiss people, but I think a lot of people who decide to move to Geneva
go through the same. I love my Swiss people. I have wonderful Swiss friends.
But it's an intense place, you know.
It's very difficult.
It's intense in terms of like the levels of stress.
Yeah.
I think they have the highest number of stress-related disorders in the world.
Yeah.
And I remember last year, there was a vote whether to have an extra bank holiday or not.
Wow.
And they voted?
No.
It's
intense, I'm telling you.
You know, and which is not to say it's understandable and there's reasons, there's logic, and I understand those things, but especially if you're sensitive and you have a certain bent or a tendency, that's gonna spank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I feel it was very, very lonely. It's interesting because when I lived in Geneva, I never met Swiss people. I was like in the realm of the United Nations, so it was all like foreigners and stuff. We were like, who the fuck are the Swiss? Where are they? They're not living here. But then years after, I've met amazing Swiss people that I love and everything. But while I was in Geneva, it's like they disappeared. Like it was like I don't know. I always say that I have to go back to Geneva at some point because I need to make like peace with it. But I just feel that something weird happened in a past life that I just like scarred me forever, and then I went back.
And from that, did that force you to take new decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. So after that, like I went back to like the couple months that I was there. I went back to Barranquilla, to my hometown, and like the grief of my grandfather really hit me and a lot of things. And then I started getting deep into family constellations. Like every single week I was going to a workshop. I was like, what is this thing that's healing me? And then I went to Germany to be with Bert Hellinger, which is the father of family constellations, that boom, 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 like so many things open up. The person that I was dating back then lived in Munich. I fell in love with Munich. It was just like something that, like an instant recognition, and then things didn't work out with him, but I still moved to Munich. And my life like changed forever. Like I met the most amazing people there. Like I created a beautiful life, and then it became too cold, and I came to Barcelona. But it's like, yeah, it's just like, it's the domino effect, right? Like you push like one little domino piece. You say domino in English. ¿Cómo se dice? Domino. You know, the little white things with...
No, you got it.
Domino.
You know, I'll correct you if you're wrong.
Like,
don't you worry.
It's all like that. So that's one...
That first, that's the whole thing. But that first domino is often way harder to push.
Yes.
It's actually quite easy than you think, but you have all these kind of blocks.
Coming from different parts.
And it's that first, once you knock that, then a chain of reactions.
And I also feel that it's like a lot of things happen in anticipation. It's never just one thing that takes you to like a different place. It's like so many things that add up. Like years before, I wanted to go to the US to do some internships and everything. They didn't give me a visa, so I had to go back to my parents' house, and then that changed everything, and Europe opened up for me. But a couple of like months or years before, I finished a long-term relationship with someone I thought I probably was gonna marry, so that took me out of Colombia. So if you keep on going backwards and backwards, there's so many things. And in the like recent years, so many things have happened. Like my mom passed away, my dogs passed away. Like a lot of things related with death as well that are like very deep, very profound, or life altering for those that remain, right? So yeah.
Life's intense.
We signed up for it.
We did. We definitely did. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it's cool.
Big thing that I'm feeling more.
You're feeling more. That's powerful, because you used to be a lot in your mind before. What was it? Yeah.
A lot in my mind, or I mean, I was blocking sadness and things like that. You know.
Then what made you open up to it?
Singing is still a big thing for me. Singing cuts through a lot of that for me. Singing, I love singing and dancing, and I love listening to other people sing, and I love listening to other people sing together. And there's some circumvents all my little blockages and my tricks for pretending I'm okay. And so, like, I mean, it's huge for me. For me to be like, well, like when you were mentioning, you mentioned earlier a couple of things about your father, you know, and we were talking about the constellations. And you said, bless you, you know, bless you. And I welled up there, you know.
Yes, I saw.
You know, I mean, that's so good for me. I really like that's really important for me that I can like feel.
And I'm gonna say something like deeper, like. That was not the story of my father. That was an example that came through, but it resonated with you. Maybe it's connected with something that has to do with your own father and your own grandfather and things that run deep in your family, right? Because it's like the things that really move us and touch us are never al azar, no? They're not
random.
Thank you. They're like not a loose thing that's just there.
No, it's
something. So it's just allowing yourself to not block that emotion, and I thank you, because it's like difficult, you know, like especially if you come from like blocking emotions, and just let yourself like yeah, well up, or do
Well,
a little bit and be
it's a gratitude
Right.
thing. You know what I mean? I feel grateful that I'm in a position that there's a crack in my shield. You know,
Yeah.
my fucking Star Wars
Yeah.
shield that I
Yeah.
presented myself.
yeah.
So it's really good.
I'm glad. Thank you for opening up.
Thank
yeah.
you. Now,
Yeah.
you ready for a sauna ice bath
I am.
breathing?
I'm
Yeah?
excited.
Give it a
Yeah.
go.
Let's
Okay,
give it
where
a
can
go.
people find you?
Find me on Instagram. You can find me everywhere. I'm super findable. I always say that.
She looks very findable.
Yeah, my name is Shadya. What's my name, James?
Shadya.
Yeah, Shadya.
Say my name, say my name.
When no one is
Is
around
around
you,
you,
say,
say,
baby, I love you.
Why the sudden change?
You're acting kind of shady and
Ain't
calling me baby.
That was the bit, actually.
Yeah. See? So Shadya, Shadya. And then my last name, babies, I'm Arab, so my names are weird for you all, I'm sure. So it's like Karawi with a K is my last name. And then the second last name is Name, like name in English. So it's Shadya Karawi Name. I'm sure James will tag me so you can all find me.
I promise.
Yeah. So Instagram is the easiest way, but if you type my name, you'll find me everywhere. That's one of my goals. Like, I want to be fucking everywhere. Like, you open your phone, I'm there. You, like, everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah.
Well, you're
So-
going well.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me share the message and for the invitation.
Boom.
Yeah.
Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you.
Boom.